Hey everybody, AJ with AJ's Vintage Designs and Fashion Toppings here, and I'm here to show you a little blending. Now, blending with bright colors, I'm going to be showing you step by step how easy it is to blend these beautiful bright colors together for a flawless blend. But also, click on that subscribe button down below and that little bell, and then you're notified every time I put up a new video. So, let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I have my first coat over here, but let's go ahead and start on my first coat on the front. Now I'm just mapping out the colors. Normally, some people say, well, are you gonna take the drawers out? No, I'm not. I'm gonna be painting the side of the drawers because look, this is like an IKEA type nightstand. It's got the metal rails, but I am gonna paint the sides of these drawers to try and dress them up a little bit. So I will pull my drawers out just a little bit to get behind there, but I'm not worried about it because I'm gonna be painting these anyway if I get paint on them. But I want to keep the drawers in so I can see the transition of the blending going up. So we're going to do our first coat. I'm going to start off, I think I'm going to start at the top. Usually I like to start at the top in case I'm going to do any misting. That way if the water runs down, it's going to run on an area I haven't started painting yet. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to put a little bit, I didn't do this to the side, but I want to try it. I'm going to put a little bit of Flamingo. Flamingo is bright and bold. I see me putting gold on this, either gemstone mousse or gold gilding wax after I'm completely done, just to kind of dress it up. Not that it's going to need dressing up with these bright colors, but I do see putting gold on this as an accent. I kind of feel like I'm channeling my inner Melissa from Top Drawer RVA. So I'm doing the Flamingo, getting a wet coat on here. Normally, you're always going to be doing at least 2 coats, especially when it comes to blending. So right now, I'm just mapping out my colors. I can always change it on, oops, my lazy Susan wants to move. My second coat, I can change the colors if I need to. So, but the first color is where I'm deciding placement. I'm going to come down over the drawer. I never want to stop a color in straight lines. So if I have a drawer here, I'm gonna make sure I carry that color onto the drawer so it transitions someplace on the drawer. I don't want a new color to start behind this drawer because then it looks too straight lined. Okay, so I always carry the color over the drawer. And I'm gonna bring it down a little ways and then I'm gonna switch into the Peony next. And I might even come back, I might do the blending here with my Dixie Belle Mini. And I might decide on my second coat that I want to do more of the cloudy blend with the Best Dang Wax. But let's get this first coat on so I can see how it looks. And then we make our final decisions on our second coat. It's easy to change colors on the second coat. Okay, so got that first coat. Isn't Flamingo a pretty color? I don't use it hardly at all. I had to open a new container just to use it. Okay, so the next color I'm going to go down to is, I'm going to go down to Peony. Peony. I haven't had to use any water yet. I can use water when I start doing the blending. I don't know if you noticed, I'm not going right up into that Flamingo just yet. I don't want to get that color on my brush yet. I'm going to get that little streak of Peony all the way across before I get up into that Flamingo. And then I'll start blending. I just want to get the color on, get in all those little moldings there. And then I'm going to come up. I'll get behind these drawers. I'm not too worried about the blending. I will touch up behind the drawers after the fact. I will be painting the sides of the drawers. You can, if you want to leave your drawers in, you can put painter's tape along the top so that when you paint the top ridge, you don't get paint here. On wood, a lot of times you can just sand it off or take a baby wipe to it. Or you can put just a sheet of paper in there to protect it. I'm gonna get all I'm gonna okay, now I'm gonna start blending. I'll get that Flamingo in there. Okay, so now I'm going to mist with a little bit of water, very little water, and I'm gonna take my Peony brush and I'm gonna pull it right up into my Flamingo. And I will see I don't know if you can see me kind of doing cross hatching as I go across. I'm pulling those 2 colors together. I like to do the cross hatching to get rid of that line. Get in that molding over here. I got little like pearls. They're like pearls. So I'm doing the cross hatching just to pull those colors together. See how it pulled those colors together so quickly? And then I'm gonna come back with my apricot brush, or I wanna say apricot because I was planning on using it, Flamingo. And I'm gonna drag nice and neat over this. Now you're gonna see how easy Flamingo and Peony blend together. They blend, and I'll bring a close up when we get closer to the end. These two colors are, they just, I mean, very little effort to get these two colors to blend together. Okay, look at that. I'm gonna go a little bit farther down with my Peony to about there. And then I'm going to switch over to the Plum Crazy, because Plum Crazy is very close to Peony, just a shade darker. Got more of a purpley tone to it, getting in all those little pearls over there. Going across. Get it nice and smooth. See that? I just love those two colors together. It just reminds me of like a sunset. So now I'm going to switch over to Plum Crazy. See, it's a little bit darker. And I'm gonna go down to Plum Crazy. Now look at those two colors together. It's just a shade darker. So you already know Peony and Plum Crazy are gonna blend very easily together. Okay, look at that. Going right over that Plum Crazy and that Peony, that line in between is just gonna disappear. I will switch brushes here again in a second. Let me just get the rest of this Plum Crazy on here. Get it over here. So this is going to, this is just gonna be a bright, sheery, now picture the gold with it. I think gold on my hardware and maybe gold on the Woodubend after I add the Woodubend, I think will really bring it all together. But not much blending has to happen between these two colors because they just naturally go together. I will go back up and clean it up though. Just getting these colors on and then I'll smooth it out. I never leave these short choppy strokes. I always go back, long strokes. I want a smooth finish. You don't want to leave a lot of, like different directions, haphazard different directions, or any thicker paint in some areas than in others. You want that nice smooth finish. And then I will sand between coats with a high grit sandpaper. Okay, I'm switching back to my Peony brush, and we're gonna do this blending in between. I'm not gonna go too high up because I don't want to get into that Flamingo area. Just where these two colors join. Very gently, kind of just swirling these colors together, getting rid of that transition line. And now I'm gonna transition down into the Aubergine. Now the Aubergine is definitely in this purple, it's a purple, and this has a little bit of a purple tone to it. So it's not as easy to blend as these colors did, but it does blend very well. The Aubergine is very friendly with the Plum Crazy. I'm not going up into my Plum Crazy yet. I'm gonna get this Aubergine on all the way down. And if you're just jumping on, don't worry, I will be opening the drawers and getting in that area, but I just don't want to spend the time on the live and take away from how much I get done painting. So you guys can get the full look of what this is going to look like. Okay, getting up into that Plum Crazy. I'm going to mist with a little bit of water, very little water. And the water just helps you use less paint. It also helps, so we all want to save money and use less paint. It also helps with the self-leveling. It gives you a nice, smooth, silky finish as far as, no brush strokes. The water helps get that perfectly smooth finish. That's one thing that, I love about Dixie Belle is the colors. The paint it's a blending paint. It's just wonderful to blend with. Okay, now I'm going to be going up into that Plum Crazy. Okay, now we'll get that little corner over here. I gotta see it straight on. Okay, so see how this is blending out? Definitely needs to be blended some more. So I'm gonna I didn't re-dip. This is just residual paint that was on my brush. I'm gonna take my Plum Crazy and I'm gonna wipe over that transition line, do my little cross hatching. busting up that line. See how it's busting up that line? Okay, and then I'm gonna clean my brush off because it's gotten muddy. See, that's my, see all the aubergine on my Plum Crazy? So I'm just gonna wipe off my brush, get all that aubergine off my Plum Crazy brush, and I'm gonna come back and smooth out my cross hatching. Gentle back and forth, long strokes. If you stop and you're doing this, you can see your stop and start marks. So that's why I'm going back and forth. This will take 2 coats. I don't have to have it perfect on this coat, but I want to get it as perfect as I can so you can see how this is going to look. Okay, and I need to mist this just a little bit more right there across that line. Still using my Plum Crazy brush. Going up and down, back and forth. Okay, see how that's blending that out? I can still see the line right there. I don't want that. That's a strong line to me. I don't want that strong line. So I'm going to do my little cross hatching again. Just kind of like going over it. There we go. Now go back again. Look in the camera. There, I'm starting to get rid of that line. See how I'm doing that? Doing that cross hatching. This is a little dark down there. Still using my Plum Crazy brush. Just very gently cross hatching over that line. I'm pulling that aubergine up into the Plum Crazy and that Plum Crazy down into the aubergine and then dragging across to get rid of those cross hatching marks. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on these sides over here, and I'm going to take a clean brush just for the fact that I'm working with such a small area, and this is where people struggle the most, is these little small areas right here. So I'm going to take a clean brush. I got a little small clean brush, and I'm just going to just go back and forth. Kind of cross hatch it. This does need 2 coats because I can see my slick stick. And I'm just going back and forth and just cross hatching. Okay, so trying to work that little section out. Going a little up and down. Pulling that aubergine up into those colors. See how that kind of blended it out? I do need to open my drawer, but I don't want to do that right now. So I've broken up that purple a little bit, and now I'm going to go back in, wipe my brush off, and I'm just going to pull those colors up and pull them down. Oops, I probably have my little paper towel holder in front of you guys. Okay, I'm breaking up those colors. And then I'm going to always come back and I'm going to clean up my brush strokes. So all my brush strokes are going in the same direction. So see how this is going to look so far? Aren't these fun colors? Okay, so let's take this aubergine all the way down to the bottom. Okay, let me take this all the way down to the bottom. Not worried about getting it on my little table here. Getting that paint on and then cleaning up my brush strokes. Even on your first coat, you want to be, being mindful because every coat is only as good as the coat that's underneath it. So if you slap your colors on the first coat and expect to clean it up on the second coat, let me clean this up here. And you expect to clean it up on the second coat, if your first coat is dried, whatever brush strokes and stuff you have in there, it's gonna carry over to your next coat after it. So be mindful with each coat you do. If you do have brush strokes, don't worry about it. You can take a 1,000 grit sandpaper, a 600, just a high grit sandpaper, the 220 grit sanding sponge. You can take sandpaper over it to smooth it off, and I want it to have that soft, silky feel. Like our silk line, I want it to have that silk line feel. But look at these colors blended together. I love these colors. It's like a big sherbet sunset. Okay, so that was the blending. Now we're gonna add the Woodubend. The Woodubend is a bendable wood. You heat it up, it bends to conform to any shape piece you have. So keep on watching, you're gonna see how the Woodubend is applied. If it's working. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing the Woodubend. I painted it to match, and I'm gonna be adding gold mousse onto it. So I pre-painted these. And I was able to get my lid open, so I can just put it on like this. I was going to put it on with the paintbrush, so I am just applying it right now. I like to pre-paint my Woodubend. Not everybody likes to do that. I just think it's a lot easier. I can get in all those sides and edges, It never fails. I'll get my blending on my piece the way I like it, and then I'll look back and I'll have missed a recessed area in a Woodubend. And so I like to pre-paint it. That way I can pick it up, I can look around, I can see if I've missed any spots. Okay, so I got my wood glue on. Now, I have a brush sitting to the side so that I can clean up any oozed out glue that I may get. I'm gonna put that in the corner and I matching up all the corners. I changed the Woodubend size that I originally was gonna do, and because this one fit better. I was originally gonna do the little ones, but I found these and I need to get my little paintbrush ready. Okay, I'm just gonna get out that wood glue. I have not sealed my piece yet because I wasn't sure if I was gonna do anything more to it. And so I have not sealed it yet, so I'm gonna get this wood glue off of it before it dries. Just using a little paintbrush. Swoop it in there. Wiping it off of my hand. Okay. But all this flat surface, I just figured it needed Woodubend just so it wasn't just a complete flat surface. I didn't want it to be boring. Not that all these colors are boring. Pressing it. Making sure it's nice and adhered, which squished out more glue. Okay, so there we go. See how that's gonna look? So I'm gonna be adding the Woodubend on here. There you have it. It was easy. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said before, make sure that you click on subscribe and that little bell so you're notified every time I put up a new video. And this was a quick and easy project. I love how she turned out, bright and beautiful. I'll put pictures at the end. And until next time, I hope you have a great day.